Okay, you hire a private investigator, they do some research on a competitor, on maybe another company, on maybe another party, and they come up with information. All good, right? Well, maybe not. Here's a case where a large corporation hired a private investigator to look into the activities of a competitor to see what they're doing, to make sure what they're doing is legal. That company, the company that hired the investigator, was Impossible Foods, the ones that make the fake meat. And they were accused of misusing a private investigator in a patent fight with the competitor. So you might think, well, what's the problem here, right? They did an investigation. Well, even at first glance, it doesn't seem that bad. The Motif Foods Works, which is the competitor, said investigators pretended to be potential partners. Look, investigators, you would think you can pretend to be somebody else. You want to pretend to be maybe a delivery person to knock on the door to look inside to see what's there. Maybe you pretend you're a customer wanting to buy something. And they attempted to gain information with fake identities. Well, they're being sued in court that they improperly hired private investigators who donned fake identities to solicit information about their products during a patent dispute. This is called pretexting. Pretexting might seem like a normal thing to do for an investigator, but there are very strict federal laws about what you can do under the Gramm-Leach-Bliley Act for pretexting. You can't use pretexting to get private information, to get information that's also considered under normal conditions to be secure. In this case, Motif, which is the plaintiff, told the court they were approached by people claiming to work for a fast food supplier and a meal kit service interested in its product, right? And they wanted to buy stuff from that company. The fake buyers even had a website that was supposedly a meal kit product, Food for Thought, and it was made up to try to show that this was a legitimate potential customer. Remember, just because you hire a private investigator, you are not necessarily immune to claims being made by the subject of that investigation. In this case, it's Impossible Foods versus Motif Foodworks, right? And this is a case where the liability may extend to the client, not just to the investigator. Sometimes the investigator, what they did might actually be legal under the law, where the use of that information by the client might be illegal. Maybe the investigator didn't actually do anything wrong, but how you use that information is a problem. So make sure that if you're considering hiring a private investigator, that you as a client are very well educated and get good legal advice about how you can use that information properly. Even if it was obtained properly, you're using it for certain purposes might not be legal, ethical, or even allowed. And it might even create liability for you as a company or as a person with regard to the plaintiff or defendant in a case.